Hi, my name is John McLucky and I own Gold Coast Hypnotherapy. I'm a professional hypnotherapist as well as a level 3 QHHT certified therapist as well. I just want to talk today about what makes you up as a person. So who are you? Now, the truth of the matter is that people get so confused in who they actually are. It's because we're the sum total of different parts that make us up. It's really, really simple, but it's complicated at the same time. That's why we all have different parts to our personality. So that's why some people can be one personality at work. That's because the work part is dominant. But then when they're at home or at a social occasion, they're a completely different person. And I show my clinical clients this all the time, and I've been asked to do videos a lot on this because once people understand what makes them up, well then they can easily control what's going on in their mind. So this is how the mind works. So I'll just write this. So just imagine that this is you. Okay, so this is what's going on in your mind here. Now, I'm just going to put all these different dots here. Okay, so there could be 20 dots, there could be 1,000 dots. But imagine all these different parts of you make you up. So whatever you're feeling at a certain specific time is the most dominant part. So for instance, all these parts, like this could be a happy part, this could be a sad part. If you're a mum, well then as soon as you have your first child, well then you're a mum part. That part forms right there and then. If you're a grandparent, well then another part of you forms, and that's a grandparent, and grandparents know that it's completely different to being a grandparent than being a parent. Now, if you have siblings, well then you've got a sibling part. So an only child doesn't have a sibling part. So whatever dominant part of you is feeling a feeling wins. And what I mean by that is if you have a fear part here, and if something triggers off that fear, you get an anxious feeling or something like that, well then this part here will dominate, and sometimes it'll dominate all these other parts. So then what happens is when you're feeling really, really anxious, really, really scared, there could be a happy part over here, but it's getting dominated by this one. Now these parts of us form throughout our life. And right in the middle of us is our subconscious. So our subconscious knows every single one of these parts. Your subconscious mind knows everything that's happened to you. So it's like the recording. So if you could imagine this like a phone or a computer, imagine these are all the apps. But then you've got your main hard drive right in the middle. And your main hard drive knows exactly what's going on. But in a computer or a phone, if one app goes rogue, it can really upset the whole computer or the whole phone. It can really upset everything that's going on. Now, with certain modalities and certain things, when people try and help themselves, to try and deal with their emotions because a part is freaking out, or a part's sad, or a part's feeling really, really guilty. Sometimes it won't work because it's kind of like on a computer, it's just pressing the reset button. It's not getting to the core of it. Whereas hypnotherapy gets right to the core. That's why hypnotherapy works so well, because it's not surface level stuff. It's not fluff stuff. We're getting right to this part and we're getting to this part and we're isolating it. So I'll just give you an example, because I work on anxiety a lot. Some people go to psychologists or counsellors or something, and they just keep talking and talking. That may work, but it's going to take a long time, a really long time. I just had a guy come in last week, and he was seeing a psychologist for over 10 years, and he just wasn't really getting anywhere. It just become more of a habit, and he was just going blah, listening and that. And then he came in for one session and it was gone because I isolated the one part. I got to the core of the problem. I'll use this example because in human beings, the second biggest fear that human beings have behind dying is public speaking. Now, most of the time, it's because somebody's been put in an awkward position where they've had to speak in front of people and they've felt so uncomfortable, so not necessarily scared, but just really stressed out and really uncomfortable. So at that point, a part formed, and unconsciously it said, I don't ever want to feel this way ever again in my whole entire life. And it may not have been a traumatic experience that first time. A lot of it comes back to primary school, little kids having to do a speech and stuff like that. Toastmasters is really good to get over that, but it may take weeks and weeks, or it may take months and months. And some people never get over it. They still can't do it. Whereas hypnotherapy, what we do is we go back to that part and we isolate that part. And once we isolate that part, then we can get all the energy that's trapped in your body, all the emotional energy, we can release it and we can let it go. If I can talk to one person and just have a normal conversation, well then there's only you that's stopping you from talking to 500 people in a group. There's only one person that's stopping you from doing that, and that's you. And it's not even you, it's only a part of you. Human beings love to be in control of things, and then as soon as they're not in control, the part of them absolutely freaks out. And the reason why I like explaining the different parts and people relate to it is because the conversations in people's heads, some people know that they shouldn't be doing something, but then another part of them is going, oh, just go and do it. And sometimes people say, oh, it's an angel and a devil on this side, and the devil always seems to win. That's actually two parts within them talking to each other, trying to negotiate with each other. It's usually, this side usually wins because you're feeling a feeling that you don't really want to feel, and this one is saying, oh, well, just do this. This will make you feel better. And it might be saying something like, go and have a drink of alcohol, or go and have a cigarette, or go and have some ice cream. You've been on this diet for 6 weeks and you've done so well, really proud of you. And this part of you is like, oh, I've done so well, you deserve to have that ice cream, or you deserve to have a reward. So in hypnotherapy, we really isolate that part of you. And depending on how long you've had the problem for, depends how deep in your unconscious it is. I absolutely adore a lady called Louise Hay. She does a lot of child work and inner child work, which is absolutely amazing because that inner child is a part of you. So if, an example, sometimes a man might have an absolute terrible relationship with their father. Their father, it doesn't matter what you did, it was never good enough. You could get 99% in a test and the father will criticize you for the 1%. It'll just never be good enough. And then, so that really creates a wounded part, a wounded in a child. If somebody doesn't do work on their inner child, they will grow up and they'll pretty much morph into their dad. They'll become a very critical person unconsciously without even knowing it. So, but that's a part of them that forms. Now, just talking about hearing the voices in your head, be very, very wary of the messages that it's saying. Because if you feel like you really want to achieve something, for example, and most of the time people will be like, I'd love to own my own business. But then a voice comes to you and it says, you can't do that. Who do you think you are? If you can isolate that voice, because that voice isn't actually a part of you. If you can really isolate it and really think about it and concentrate on it, you'll find that it will be somebody else's voice. So that somebody else doesn't even belong in your mind. So in that process, if I was coaching somebody or if I was doing my therapy session, we would get rid of that voice so it never has to be in there. It's different if it says, I can't do this, because that's actually a part of you that's doubting whether you're good enough. It's probably feeling a whole lot of feelings that aren't very good. So it's not a very confident part of you. So that's the part that we isolate and I'd work on. And I absolutely love this stuff. Absolutely love isolating different parts of our personality, because if you can get all these parts of you, or the majority of parts of you, working and communicating and going in the same direction and the same goal, this is why people achieve the life of their dreams, because they do this work. It's as simple as that. If you can do this work, you'll find inner peace. And then when you find inner peace within yourself, you can make the right decisions and you can start creating things. But if you've got a couple of parts down here that are dominating these other parts, and if they're negative, you won't have much self-esteem and you won't have much self-confidence, because these parts you're not working on them. They're controlling. I just really hope that that explains who am I. So for me, my name is John, and I'm the sum total of lots of different parts of me. There's a childhood part of me, I'm a son part, I'm a happy part, I'm a dad part. When I'm a therapist, my therapist hat goes on and I'm just 100% present in the therapy session. When I'm a QHHT practitioner, I put my QHHT hat on, that part of me really dominates, and I'm 100% present in the present moment, because that's a part of me that dominates. When I'm a dad, I don't worry about the other stuff, because I just want to be a dad and just have fun and enjoy my kids, because I know how fast they grow. So I'm there. I don't worry about work. So I really hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, feel free to get in contact with me. Just jump on my website, goldcoast-hypnotherapy.com.au, or send me a message, and feel free to just write a comment in the comments box below, and I'm happy to help out with any questions. And if you are interested in having a session, I can easily do the sessions online. Just feel free to reach out and to get in contact with me. So I really hope that this makes sense to you. It makes sense to a lot of my clients. So I really hope that it made sense to you. So thank you so much.